Hey guys, welcome back to On the Throne, IGN's video recap series of Game of Thrones. This week we're going to be talking about What is Dead May Never Die, episode 3 of season 2 of Game of Thrones. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of On the Throne for more details about how you can win some really sweet official merchandise from the HBO store. But this week, let's start off with House Greyjoy. Balon, his plans, he said he wasn't going to attack the Lannisters last week. It turns out he's going to attack the North. Yeah, and we already knew Theon, we'd seen sort of conflicting sides to Theon. We'd seen that he seems very loyal to Robb, and yet now he returns to his family and instantly is sort of cowed beneath his father. Yeah, but this week it's he confronts his father about it. He's like, why are you making any of this like it's my fault, And so he has to choose, and he has to choose quickly, and the show has to make him choose quickly too, because it's a busy show now. So they have a really great scene where he's written a note to Robb, a warning note, and he's gone through the length of writing the whole thing out, and then he burns it. So you know where his loyalties lie now, and he's going to sort of join his family in attacking the people who he essentially almost raised all of them, his whole life. Yeah. And then we actually got a lot of interesting stuff going on with Renly and a lot of people around Renly this season. So we caught up with him. Yeah, we went down south to wherever he is camped out with all of his soldiers. Apparently he's got advantage in the numbers game. Everyone says he's got like 100,000 troops. So we didn't focus on Stannis this week. We went to Renly. Yeah. And his knights are just all kind of sitting around. Kat goes down to visit him, and she kind of puts him in his place a little bit when she says, my son is off fighting a war, not playing at one. Essentially, if you've got the numbers, why aren't you either helping my son or attacking King's Landing, But through this sort of this tournament that they're doing, they're fighting each other, we got to meet Brienne. Yeah, Brienne, a character that if you are a fan of the books, she's a great character we've all been waiting to meet, and there she was, kind of, I think, a very great adaptation of what she is, big, strong, and obviously huge, such tall. Yeah, and she can handle her own, we see right away as she wins this sort of tournament fight, and is made a knight as a result. She gets a place at her king's side. Yeah. And it was interesting also because we met Margaery Tyrell. Now, we don't know that much about House Tyrell, aside from Knight of the Flowers, Sir Loras, who's Renly's lover. But this is Sir Loras' sister, Margaery, who is now Renly's queen. And it's interesting to see how both of them work, because there's a scene between Renly and Loras in bed, and then Loras winds up actually refusing him that night because he's like, people are talking. Yeah. What's with you? You got to get with my sister. Let's do this. They're about appearances. And they're very opportunistic. They're a wealthy family, but they kind of know how the game is played, and Marjorie's the same way. They need things to look okay. They need there to be an heir. Right. And so all these things. You need to put a baby in me. I don't care how you do it. Right. Whatever you need, she says. I don't care that you really don't want to do it, and that's cool, and we'll make it work. And so they're introducing a lot of kind of interesting female new characters this season. That's right. And let's head to King's Landing. Yeah. Where Tyrion is, as we saw last week, cleaning house. Now he's playing tricks on all of the manipulative vipers in King's Landing. He sets a big trap. Yeah, Tyrion, obviously one of our favorite characters, I think almost everyone's favorite character. He is such a smart guy, and he knows how to, move these chess pieces around. And here he shows that very well, because he gives all these people different stories to kind of see what they do with it. That's right. Well, and a lot of criticism, even though we love Ned Stark and he was such an honorable character, but there is a stupid Ned Stark meme for a reason. Yeah. And Tyrion is proving that he is not Ned Stark. Like, he is not going to do the same things, and he's not going to play the game the same way, because he doesn't want to die. Yeah. So a lot of it is within his own self-interest. And I think a lot of characters, people might not have known watching first season that Joffrey even had siblings. So it's kind of interesting here to see Marcella, that it was all about Marcella and where they're going to put her, where they're going to move her. That was kind of the whole game he was playing. Tyrion actually, through this trap, was able to weed out Pycelle as being sort of the one who spies for Cersei. Yeah. And through this finds out also he was the one who betrayed Jon Arryn, going all the way back to the beginning of season 1. Yeah. Didn't kill him, he says, but it was the one who ratted him out for like going around town looking at Robert's bastards. So Tyrion is actually, this show is really grim, but right now in season 2, like his little King's Landing power plays are the funnest part of the show so far. Yeah, very fun. And the other thing he was doing this week involved Shay and kind of trying to hide her, the fact that he's not supposed to have this sort of, prostitute lover being the man in a position he's in. So he wants to kind of hide her in plain sight. It's forbidden by his father. Right. And so he puts her as a handmaiden to Sansa. That's right. Now, we love this show, and you're going to hear us on the Throne talk about how much we love the show and in various forms, but Shay is a character and a portrayal of a character from a book that we're not too crazy about.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into comparing the book and the TV show that much, but she's one of the characters that stands out, I will say, as being the most different. Not physically, because there are other characters that might not match what you have in your mind, but Shay acts very differently than how I interpreted her in the book to do. So I wonder about that. Sometimes the choices, she's very harsh, and it's harder to understand kind of what it is that Tyrion sees in her.
He's supposed to be really enamored with her and like under her thumb a little bit. And you don't quite get that given the character that he is and the way that Dinklage is playing him.
Yeah.
But now let's switch over to the end of the episode, which was very powerful, very action-packed, very tragic, where Arya and the Night's Watch caravan falls under attack by soldiers. Yoren, you know, meets his doom, takes out a bunch of people on his way down, though. I can't help but think of Syria.
Yeah, I mean, Arya is, I think, another one of the show's best characters and a character that everyone's really rooting for. And unfortunately for her and for those of us watching, all of her, support system keeps being taken out. Everyone tries to protect her and they get killed one by one.
And not that this show shies away from killing children or infants, as we've seen so far this season. Lamy gets killed by the soldiers, and it's not that his death is that shocking, because he should have actually known better than to say you should carry me to those guys. Yeah. But it's just the way that the soldier kills him so nonchalantly. Like he doesn't even think twice about killing a child, and the way he sort of grabs his hand and leans him up onto the point of needle. It's just really creepy.
Yeah, and we see in that moment that Arya is very, fast on her feet, and even in the face of all this tragedy, all this death around her, she still can think up a great lie on the spot, because they're looking for Robert's bastard kid, and she says, "You just killed him." And so again, we want her to get through safe, and here she is, doing something that'll help protect everyone around her a little more.
Yeah, very resourceful. Now's the point on the Throne when you have a chance to win some official merchandise from the HBO store. That's store.hbo.com. And all you have to do is email winorDie@ign.com. Tell us your favorite part of this episode, and you enter into a chance to win. This week's prize package includes a Renly Baratheon t-shirt, a Brienne of Tarth t-shirt, and a House Tyrell t-shirt.
And we want to wish congratulations to Zachary Stambaugh, who won our Episode 1 prize package from earlier this season.
Yeah, Zachary of House Stambaugh.
Yes.
And join us next week for another episode of On the Throne.